Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. And we're going to be looking again at how to immigrate to Canada. This is the second in the series. Okay, so I hope you will find the information here useful. Today we're going to look at steps and criteria once more of immigrating to Canada, but this week we're going to look at the steps to move to Canada from Jamaica as a tractor trailer driver. Excuse me. Now, the first thing you need to do, as was previously said, is to do your research. Find out which one of the immigration programs are suitable. Now you can look into programs like the Temporary Foreign Worker Program or the Provincial Nominee Program. In most cases, that's a program that they recruit drivers through. And yeah, these programs may offer different pathways for skilled workers in specific occupations. And in this case, we're looking at tractor trailer drivers. So, as with any of the programs, you will have to meet the eligibility criteria. Alright, you must ensure that you meet the requirements that they're asking for, like age, education, work experience. Once again, they'll look at your language, whether you can speak English or French. And there might be other specific requirements, for example, air brakes. Do you know how to operate an air brake vehicle? So then after you do that, you're then going to need to secure a job offer from a Canadian employer. And you must ensure that the job offer meets the chosen immigration program as well. Alright? Okay, once you go through all of that, you need to provide all the required documents that they ask you for example, LMIA and other qualifications. Make sure you gather all the necessary documents that they ask you to gather. Alright? Even your educational credentials they will be looking for, which you have to produce through your school certificate or IELTS. And then you submit your application to the appropriate Canadian visa office or application center. Alright, so always make sure that you provide the accurate and complete information and pay any fees that they ask you to pay. Now, you can pause this video at any time if you're missing out on anything, so you can catch up on what's been missed out. You might also need to do medicals. Okay, so whatever they ask you to present, that's what you present to them. And after you've gone through all of that and send in your application, then you will have to exercise some patience, as was said in the previous videos. The processing times can vary. So you're going to need to exercise patience at this point in time. So if your application is approved, then they will send you your work permit for those who applied for temporary resident positions. Alright. Or for those who are approved for permanent residency, who chose to do that from their home country, they will send you that as well. Or they will send you that. Okay? And then you have to do, as was mentioned in episode 1, what is called the landing. Alright? So make all your arrangements to travel to Canada to take up your job. Ensure that you have all the necessary documentations with you when you arrive, including your passport and other immigration documents. Okay, you don't want to reach and then you don't have those with you. That would not be very good. And then it's time for you to settle into your new life as a tractor-trailer driver in Canada. When you get here, familiarize yourself with the Canadian road safety standards and the regulations of the country. And begin your employment with your Canadian employer. Yeah, so your Canadian employer will give you assistance with whatever else is necessary for you to do when you get here. Alright, in most cases they do that. Things you will need to get sorted include air brakes, your bank account, your driving license, accommodation, phone, and transportation, because you're going to need to travel to work. And in most cases, they're not very close to home. And as I said before in previous video, if you are in doubt, then consult an immigration personnel. They will be able to help you. Okay, guys. So here I am once again on the Canada.ca website. I mentioned this in episode 1 of the immigration series that I am doing. All right. So this is the website, which I'll leave in the description below again. So I've come to the website so that I can show you further what I was talking about when I mentioned the programs that you can immigrate to Canada through as a tractor trailer driver. So you come to the Canada.ca website, you go to immigration and citizenship, then you click on immigrate to Canada, and then you click on the Atlantic Immigration Program, and then immigrate through the Atlantic Immigration Program, and it takes you to this page. Okay, so I've specifically come to the Atlantic Immigration Program because this is another one of the programs that you can immigrate to Canada through. All right, so it's usually one of the fastest route to immigrate here through. So I'm at the Who Can Apply page, and you see it's here to be eligible for the Atlantic Immigration Program. You must have qualifying work experience, unless you're coming through as an international graduate, but we're looking at you coming through as a tractor trailer driver, not one that has studied here in Canada. Okay, you must meet the educational requirements, and as a truck driver, you must have gone through high school or some form of secondary school where you were able to get a high school diploma, or you have 3 or more CXC subjects at grade 3 and above pass. You must meet the language requirements, which is, as I said, you must be able to speak English or French fluently, and you must also do the IELTS test, which for them it's a requirement to show that you can speak English at the level that they want you to do, or you do the French test if you speak French. So it says there that you have to show that you have enough money to support yourself and your family when you get to Canada. Now, for a truck driver, Yes, you want to have a little money coming here, but once you have that job offer, that would be your proof that you'll have enough money to support your family when you get here. Okay? All right. So it says here that if you're already living and working in Canada with a valid work permit, you don't need to show proof. So yes, once you have the job here and you're here, or once you have the job offer from there coming, then that proof, they don't require it. So if you meet all those requirements, then you can start looking for a job with a designated Atlantic employer. Now notice it says designated Atlantic employer. Once you go underneath the Atlantic Immigration Program, there's a section there where you can look and see what are the requirements of the designated employer, because there are certain requirements that they will have to fulfill in order to become designated by the country to be able to employ you. All right, so these are the steps that you'd go through. So you get the job offer, and when you get the job offer, they'd send you some documentation which they're required to send you. And you get the documentations. Once you get the documentations, then you send in all of those documentations to apply for your permanent residence. Once you apply for the permanent residence, if you decide that you do not want to wait outside the country until that goes through, you can also apply for a temporary work permit. And once that work permit comes through, then you'll be able to come across to Canada and work in the meantime. Let's say you wanted to put some more money together to be able to bring your family across, then you'll be able to do that. All right. So yeah, and then after your application is approved, if it's approved, then you get your things together and do the landing as I mentioned previously in the video. All right, so down here you see they mention your work experience. So your work experience must be within the last 5 years. And for a truck driver, even though they say 1 year here, you fall under the NOC category 73300. That's truck transportation, which is on the tier 3. So you're required to have 3 years experience within the past 5 years. But some of the employers might be lenient and take you with 2 years. If they're very desperate, they'll take you with 1. All right. Okay, so if you notice here, it mentions the NOC, the National Occupational Classification, the level which you'll have to fall under. And as I said, you fall, tractor trailer drivers fall on the tier 3. Okay, so that determines your work experience which you need to have. Now we're not looking at the international graduate section here because we're just looking at you coming across as a tractor trailer driver who doesn't have any of that qualification. All right, and I mentioned the educational requirements before. All right, and one thing I didn't mention is that those educational the education that you have, you're required to get an ECA for it. So the educational credential assessment, you need to get it assessed so that they can see, okay, yes, these match up with our qualification requirement that we're looking for. All right. And I've mentioned the language requirement and the funds already. Okay. So let me now show you two companies which employs drivers within Canada at the moment. Two of the better companies. Now I'll put these links down in the description below. We're in the Celtic Transportation website. We're on the Celtic Transportation website, and if you notice on their website, they say they are hiring professional cross-border company drivers and owner operators. Now you wouldn't fall under the owner operator section. As an immigrant coming across, you're gonna fall under the company driver section. As you're here and you learn the trade, learn the skill rather, and eventually you want to own your own truck, tractor trailer, then you could buy one and start to operate as an owner operator after you've gotten your paperwork, your permanent residency paperwork. So here are the drivers that they're looking for: long haul drivers, part-time spare drivers. You don't want to apply for that part because one of the requirements is that your job must be a permanent job offering you a certain amount of hours. So the long haul driver section is what you'd be applying for, and this is their requirement. They want a clean driver's abstract. Your criminal search must be clean. You must be fluent in English, both to write it and speak it. Don't pay attention to this part where it says must be fast approved. This is only for Canadian drivers. In your case, it would be that you must be able to go across the border, so you must not be blocked by US from going there. Otherwise, they can't take you. All right, sorry about that. Okay, sorry about my phone. All right, and this just tells you that what they will give to you. So in order to apply for the job, you'd fill out their PDF form and send it off to them. However, I would say before you do any of that, contact the company first, speak to someone. You can send off the PDF form first, but you want somebody to know your name to so when they see your application, they said, oh yeah, I spoke to that gentleman, or I spoke to that lady. So telephone them first and tell them you're interested in immigrating here as a tractor trailer driver, and just get to know them a little more. All right, so that's their telephone number here. Okay, so the other company, which is a very, very good company to work with, is Air Motor Express, and this is their website, airmotor.com. So my husband worked with this company, so I can tell you for a fact they are a very good company to work with. All right, so you just come on their website. Sorry. And when you come on their website, you'll see either this section that says career opportunities, or you can scroll down and you see. So read up about the company before you do any application with either of them. And then you see the section where they say we're hiring drivers, apply here. You click on that section, and when you click on that section, you notice here or what they're telling you that they're looking for. So we are hiring company drivers and owner operators for Canada/USA, Canada only, singles and teams. I would say go for singles if you're not a person who get along very well with others, because if you go for team, this person will be in your space all that time that you're out on the road, and some people don't get along very well with somebody being in their intimate space like that. So read up here, yes, what they say about themselves and what they're looking for, and they have their form here which you fill out, and once you fill that form out, it goes to them and somebody would contact you. But I would say once you fill out the form, send it off, follow through with a telephone call. Just as I said about Celtic, you want to let them know your name, know your voice, okay? And you can do it that way, as I said, or telephone them first, okay? All right, so I will put the link in the description box below so that you know the website where you come to. Now, if you wanted to double check what is required of you as a truck driver, you'd come to the NOC website. And once you come to the NOC website, then you'd be able to type in your NOC number, which is 73300. And once you type in the NOC level and click search, all right, it takes you to the page. So it takes me to this page. So let me do that again. Click search, and it takes you to the page. It should take you to the page. I don't know why it's acting up today. It takes you to the page that truck driver. Let me type that in again. It should take you to the page that tells you yeah, it should take you straight to it, but it didn't just now. It brought me to this list. So in the list you can see transport truck driver here, which is where you'd fall under, and it would tell you all the requirements of the truck driver. All right, see over here it tells you the occupation usually requires college diploma or apprenticeship training, or less than 2 years or more than 6 months of on-the-job training. So I've given you all the information pertaining to that already. Now, as you see, when I click on it now, it takes me to what they require, what the transport truck driver they're looking for are, okay, and some of the things. So these are some of the type of drivers, and it will also tell you here the duties that they expect that you would have performed, similar duties to these duties. So yeah, take your time, go through it, make sure you fall in the requirements that they're looking for, and then you make your application to immigrate to Canada. Okay, so I hope this was helpful to someone out there. So if it was, please like, share, leave your comments so that I can see whether or not this was helpful, or if there was something else that you were looking for. Okay, all right, so have a good day, and I will see you next time. Okay.